Let's move on now. Let's talk Shazam. Let's take a listen to a clip.
I'm so worried about you.
I told you this was a bad idea.
Oh, Freddy? Freddy, what happened to the stairs?
Hey, covering her mouth if you're gonna kidnap her is not gonna make her less scared, okay?
Darla, it's me. It's Billy. I know I don't look like me. A wizard made me look like
Maybe
this.
don't start with the wizard. It's just gonna make her more confused.
Some old guy brought me to a temple, and he made me say Shazam. Rosa!
Verbally triggered body manipulation properties? You can switch by saying Shazam.
All right, Shazam. Directed by David F. Sandberg, written by Henry Gayden, starring. We got Zachary Levi. Or is it Levy? Who pronounces his last name?
I don't know.
We also have Michelle Borth. Wait, why are they putting Mark Strong? We have Mark Strong. Always good to see him. The kids are played by the two main ones, Jack Dylan Grazer and Asher Angel. That's a rapper name. What is that?
Asher Angel.
So the synopsis for this one is,
I feel like that's a kid in college who just smokes way too much weed. Like some little white kid in college. It's like Asher Angel. That's all the guys call me.
That's weird. We all have a superhero inside us. It just takes a bit of magic to bring it out. You hear that, guys? In Billy Batson's case, by shouting one word, Shazam, this streetwise 14-year-old foster kid can turn into an adult superhero, Shazam. What did you guys think about this DC cinematic universe film, Shazam? Steve, you're our token comic book guy.
Am I your token comic?
Yeah, I mean, you've read more comic books than everyone here. So
Can I go first?
Actually,
I've
yeah, you
actually
go
read
first.
Shazam.
What, you read Shazam?
Yeah, see,
Yeah, I've read Shazam.
I've never read Shazam, so I think he has more experience.
All right, the Harvey is taking the wheel here.
I mean, none of that's going to come into play, really. But
you made it sound like he's like, well, I got some history.
I got
want
some
to drop.
context.
Context.
I don't know. It I don't know. I think it maybe amplifies my feelings about this movie or makes me care a bit more or something. Anyway, yeah. So this movie is about a kid named Billy Batson. Billy is a orphan, and he is sort of bouncing around from foster home to foster home. He keeps escaping because he's trying to find his mom. He was separated from his mom a really long time ago at a carnival.
Can I say this? That's fucking sad. That was a sad opening.
Yeah, sure. It was a little sad, and he's been spending all of his time trying to get back to his mom. He's been looking for women in different cities with the last name Batson. He doesn't exactly remember her first name because he was very young. I think he was probably 4 or 5 years old or something like that, and he just knew her as mom, and so he looks for every Batson that he can find, and basically goes to their address. It hasn't worked out for him, unfortunately, and he finally finds a family, and finds a friend in this kid named Freddy. He's sort of the sidekick, and he happens to have a disability. I don't think they really explain exactly what's wrong with him, but he has to walk with a cane, and he has a pretty mean limp. Anyway, we get some of Billy's backstory through that, and then we're also sort of given Mark Strong's backstory at the same time, and that happens in the form of a memory, I believe, or at least a flashback to probably the 70s or something. He's driving with his family, and he is sort of pulled away into like another dimension by the wizard. The wizard is looking for a champion, and
I wasn't expecting the wizard to be
Jaime Hansen.
Yeah, that threw me off. I was like, I mean, from what I understand from the origin story, it's like an aboriginal man.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what to expect when I saw him. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, yeah, I suppose that sort of fits.
It fits, right?
I suppose he's supposed to look like a man of the like some sort of tribal man of the old earth. So dark is probably ideal. He has like an accent. It sounded. It's Jaimin's accent. It sounds like an African, like West African accent. But yeah, I suppose that's not important. The important thing is that he's looking for a champion. He wants somebody to take over his magic. He is the last of the Council of Wizards, and basically all that stands between evil and evil taking over the world is this Council of Wizards, and he's the last one, and he's looking for a successor, basically. And he's sort of scouring through people. And Mark Strong's character does not get selected, unfortunately. And he's sort of bitter about that. And he grows up into like a very vicious fuckboy with a lot of money. And his whole plan, like his whole mission, his whole life objective is to get back to that realm and claim what he once lost. But as you see through the trailer, Billy Batson actually becomes champion. And he turns into a guy, a very large guy, played by Zachary Levi, and all he has to do is say Shazam in order to become him. I think the first act started out a bit rough for me. I think that Mark Strong's what's his character? Thaddeus, Dr. Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
Yeah. Thaddeus' backstory was kind of interesting. I think that choosing the flashback was like an effective way to do that. I think that the way Billy Baxton's backstory was handled was kind of sloppy. I think that it didn't make sense from like a practical sense either, just the logical sense that this would be a thing that could happen, especially considering like modern records and shit like that. I don't believe it happened like that in the comic, but I think it was also just sort of an ineffective way to present his character. So I didn't really like him or his backstory in the beginning, but I think that once he gets into the home and we're introduced to the other character, the other boy, I believe his name is Freddy. I think Freddy provides like some pretty necessary comedic relief, and I think even more so when Billy Batson finally becomes Shazam. I think that's when the movie sort of just completely kicks it around for me, and I really enjoyed everything after that point. Like him, like once like the meta comedy kicks in, or like the meta superhero comedy kicks in, because it was like a version of Deadpool, but I'm honestly not a huge fan of Deadpool either. I like the second one more than like the first one, but I think that Deadpool is like really over the top with like that meta shit, and it sort of bogs down the movie, and it just makes it just unenjoyable for me. But I think this one did a really subtle job and a clever job of like infusing that style of comedy in it and making it entertaining. So yeah, after like all the Shazam stuff went down, I really started enjoying the movie. I think that it does some things differently than other movies too, especially other like DC movies. It sort of like brings that Marvel style of comedy over, but it also like remained darker than I've seen.
I appreciate that.
Other like superhero movies. It had like a bit of like nasty shit in it too, like that woman touches the thing and her body disintegrates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
I mean,
not really.
That was vague as fuck, I think. But anyway, I enjoyed this movie.
I would agree with most of your sentiments. Some
of it was surprising.
Yeah, like I said previously, like watching the trailers, I had like hopes. I was sitting there, I was like, this actually doesn't look bad. It looks like it's self-aware, but it's not going to be obnoxious to the point where it's like, commenting the whole time on it. I think it does a really great job of capturing this idea of youthful, like, what if you had superpowers as a kid? Like, I think it just captures it so well, and like how Zachary Levi like kind of like portrays the character of Shazam. Like, I think he does a good job playing a fucking what is he, like 15-year-old kid, and he just has this like energy and exuberance, and he's just like not knowing what he's doing, because you wouldn't know what you would do in that situation. And I might not be very well versed in Shazam in the comics, but I'm a big fan of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I watched both series. They're amazing. If you haven't watched it, please go do that now. And they really focus, certain episodes focus on that character. And I literally saw the comparison instantly. I was just like, oh, wow. Like, that's the same impression I got from that character from the show from this. And I don't know. Throughout the whole time, I just had a really good time. I was laughing. I was having fun. And I think this is the funnest thing DC has done. And they really I think they just really just sat around just like, you know what? Fuck it. They were like, fuck it. Like, go for broke. We don't have anything to lose at this point. Fuck, their attempts at making a cinematic universe has failed with Dawn of Justice, with Batman versus Superman. Like, just wait, which one was it? Justice League, and then there's Batman, Dawn of Justice, and like all these films. Like they're trying to build up, and it just didn't work. And Suicide Squad was like a horrible mess. And I think with Aquaman, I think with Wonder Woman, even though those two weren't like my favorite, I think they're slowly realizing it's just like, you know what? You know, let's just let go of the reins. Let's just let it exist. Let's make this fun, fun film. And that's what it was. It was super enjoyable. And I like the fact that I think they do something that Marvel doesn't do. And it's like really subtle. They make note of this bigger unit. They make note that other superhero exists, but it's not predicated and it's not relying on other films to make it a thing. Like, yeah, the shit happened in Justice League, but they're not referencing it. It's just like, it's not like, oh, there's not a bigger overarching story happening. It's just its own little centralized thing that's happening within this world, within this city. I don't know. I just think it works. They hint at it, they mention it, but it's not like overlooming. It's not the whole point of the film to start, oh, well, in 3 films you will get a team-up movie. Like, yeah. It's its own thing, and I appreciate that. Yeah. I like a film that that exists. And it's not, you don't have to watch 3 other movies to get it.
Yeah. I do agree with that, and I think
Marvel is just becoming so beholden to that, yeah. And I think that's why I was so bummed out with Miss Marvel. It's just like it's a whole time you're just like, it's just like sitting like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, we get it, we fucking get it.
It's kind of like a connective tissue to tie together those
just a girl.
Avengers movies.
Poor little old me. Fuck, that was brutal.
That was a bad.
All right, cool. Shazam. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. I'm just kidding. You guys thought I was gonna talk shit, huh? Yeah, I kind of agree with both of you. I think this movie was perfectly fine and fun. There was one funny line that I was like, I'm gonna bring that up on the podcast because that was actually very funny, and I'm the only one that laughed. But now I can't even remember it. Do you guys remember it?
Just wait. What?
Don't even fucking have a clue. I just know
what context was it? Just like who said it?
I don't remember. It totally slipped my mind.
This is going to bug me now.
You guys remember a part where I was like, damn, that was funny? No?
Was it the... Are you talking about the...
Shit.
No, this is the whole podcast.
I have to go rewatch it just to fucking find out.
You actually pays to go see it again? Just like, fuck it.
That's frustrating because it was the only line that I was like impressed with. The writing. The rest were like just, regular
They're easy. They're
comedy,
easy
easy jokes.
Yeah.
But... nonetheless, there were... All right, so here's some things about the trailer, right? The trailer didn't look that good to me, mainly because of the handicapped kid. I just don't like handicapped kids. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. His character seemed very unbelievable and annoying in the trailer. This is why trailers are really bad, because I don't know who thought those are the best lines to put in the trailer, but they weren't. I actually liked his character quite a bit, and I thought he brought a lot to the movie. I thought he was witty and enjoyable.
How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the ending or like the third act with his character and what happens? Because I think it's just like perfect for that cast. Like what happens? I don't know, man.
Like the very final scene?
Like, like almost the final scene. What happens? I don't want to spoil it, but there's just like this moment where I'm just like, yeah, I can definitely see that.
Talking about the cafeteria?
No, I'm talking about the brawl in the
carnival.
The carnival. I just like, I don't know. We could talk about it afterwards, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of perfect.
Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about. I liked it. Yeah, I thought he was good. I would say that carnival scene was my least favorite, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, I was having the least amount of fun during that pretty much climax.
I would say I had to go pee, and guess what? I didn't get up. I actually watched the whole thing.
Yeah, but like the first two acts are actually very entertaining, and I think I really enjoy the characters, and it does feel like that original Spider-Man origin story type movie where you're being revealed the powers, and I really like that. Just kicking it back to the basics, I think.
Yeah,
and. With this whole Captain Marvel shit, I'm like, what does she even do? What does she do? She shoots things out of her.
She has. She's
a fucking alien. What is she? I don't like. It's just I'm not interested.
Just like energy projection.
I'm gonna be honest.
Powers.
This is my honest opinion about this movie, and this is the last time I'll talk about Captain Marvel. I think they should have not done Captain Marvel. I think they should do Miss Marvel, which is the reboot with Kamala Khan. I've read both volumes. I've been reading.
Are they different heroes?
Yeah, and she is amazing. She is so much more interesting. It's like she's the equivalent of like what they're doing with Peter Parker.
Is she a part of the Avengers?
No, she's not. She's just like Peter Parker. She lives in Jersey.
But maybe that's why they wanted someone a part of the Avengers.
Who cares?
The Avengers is what
Probably
sells
will
them.
be at some point.
What, Captain Marvel?
Miss Marvel.
I would love to
In
see
the
that
comics.
version. Yeah, I would love to see Miss Marvel. I would rather see that because I thought that was a super interesting story and like where she comes from.
Yeah. But it's weird that such a dumb superhero movie like Shazam that really doesn't hold much significance in a franchise can be that much more entertaining than this prolific, monumental superhero Captain Marvel who's supposed to tie a legacy together. Like, I just think it's funny how DC has overcome Marvel in that sense. When you said they said, "What have we got to lose?" And they went for broke, and I think it works. The movie's not perfect, like I said. I think the third act
worked
is
once. We'll see.
Yeah,
See what happens.
yeah, it's worked once. Let's not give. They're not gonna fucking.
I mean, they got James Gunn.
They've been
They got. I feel
they've
like
been making some shit though.
Listen,
We'll
I
see.
trust James Gunn. I feel like he has not led us astray yet. So if he's able to do something with, if you give him charge with Suicide Squad, I feel like he could do something really batshit crazy. Just because if you know anything about his history,
No, I mean we
feel
need
like-
to all.
I feel like, and if DC is really going down this route of like fuck it, I think we can get some crazy shit.
What did you guys think of Mark Strong as the villain?
He was great. He was fucking hammy as shit.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like Mark Strong.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
just-
seeing him. He's a great actor.
Okay.
He's a great actor, and I think he just played it up, and it was really
I
hammy.
mean, he's
and it was
no
fun.
Mark Strong in Kingsman, but let's
I don't think. I mean, do we have to bring up that movie?
yeah, because I think it's the greatest comic book adapted movie ever made. But that's besides the point. You can't catch lightning in a bottle more than once.
Fucking.
So yeah, I think Shazam is fun. It's kind of a kids movie too. So sometimes I let a lot of the bad jokes slide. Because of that, it doesn't really feel like an adult movie trying to sell you kid jokes. It kind of feels like a kids movie. Like if you're a 12-year-old boy, like you kind of vibe out.
Doesn't
with
yeah?
this movie.
It gives you a little bit like that Disney
Yeah,
vibe.
it's- like
it hits-
Pixar has dumb
hits
jokes,
you.
but you let them go because there's fucking children watching, right?
Yeah.
But there are times in this movie where I'm like, maybe children should be watching this. This is some violence.
There were some violent moments.
Baby started crying in my theater when some shit went down in that meeting room.
Just
Oh,
threw
really?
the guy out the window.
Yeah,
That's just hilarious.
This baby just can't be watching that shit. They took some chances in that regard, and I really wish I could remember this joke. And it's a goddamn shame, but I really enjoyed a particular joke in this movie. Sucks. Sucks.
It's
I
gonna
can't
bother
remember
me
that.
now.
Yeah.
You probably remember.
I have to like pull up the screenplay or something. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it.
Yeah, I think it's just like the first time in a very long time that DC.
It's more
film
enjoyable
has-
than Aquaman.
I think it's the most
I
enjoyable.
definitely think so.
I think it's the most. I've seen all the DC films. Not bragging. I'm just saying I've watched them all, and I think this is the best one, easily.
This is the best one I've
I think it just has really
seen
great
in a
character
while,
development.
I think.
It has great supporting cast overall in terms of just like
Better than The Dark Knight.
better. Oh, well, I'm talking about
just
just reboots.
Dark Knight's a reboot, isn't it?
Well, I'm talking about these like this DC
This universe,
universe, whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Dark Knight somehow surpassed Marvel movies too. But
I mean, Dark Knight is a masterpiece. I don't want to talk about that.
I think that Batman versus Superman should have been Shazam versus Superman. That would be.
You know who
that'd be
directed
something.
this, right?
No.
The guy who did Lights Out, the director of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
that's so interesting. Like he did the short film, and then he did the big Hollywood like fucking production.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. This guy has horror roots, and he was just like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do a superhero movie, a kids movie, basically."
yeah. You guys want to rate it?
Yeah, I guess.
Unless
So.
you guys have other lasting thoughts.
No, I mean overall, like I said before, I think it's the best thing DC has done in a while. I kind of wish they take this formula, like this idea of just like letting, here's the world we've already built up. Do whatever you want with these characters. Just stay within these parameters, and you don't not everything has to be a joke, and not everything has to be a fucking kids comedy. But I think, just be honest with these characters. That's the most important thing. If you notice anything about Batman versus Superman or any of the characters they've shown so far, is that they're not honest to their actual original like intent. Like half the shit that happened in Batman vs Superman just doesn't make sense to me. I think Shazam.
I missed that one.
I mean, I think you miss all of them, right?
No, I've seen
You seen
Justice League,
Oh, yeah, we saw
Aquaman, Superman,
Man of Steel,
Man of Steel. I've seen everything but
Wonder Woman.
BV. Yeah, I hated it. Remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot. No, this is the best thing they've done. I would say this is like I would rewatch this. This is a heavy 3. I would go back to this and watch it one day.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely passable. I'm sitting at a heavy 3, possibly even a very light 3.5. I mean, it's
Seeing a rewatch.
probably won't watch it again. I'm gonna be honest with you, but
There's other movies
I
to
would
watch.
if it came on Netflix, and I'd be like, yeah, check that out. It's a fun little movie.
It's the best thing they've done.
Yeah. What about you, Harvey?
I think I'm resting somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4.
Damn.
I think
Burn me with that score.
I think the first
Oh,
act
just
was.
wait. I think I remember the joke.
What is
Do you?
Or I think I know because the joke that I'm laughing at was the joke because I was just like, I don't think anyone understands my sense of humor, but this is the funniest shit ever.
So what
Is
was
when
it?
he's just like, I can't hear you. You're like a mile away,
Oh,
and he's
it's
like
not
giving
that.
this like, oh no, he's
That's
doing that.
funny too.
Dude, that
was
like,
funny too.
It was like playing. He was joking around the fact that when
No,
someone
it
was
was like
giving
a
that bombastic
very fast,
speech.
like one-liner.
Oh, was
but that
it?
was, yeah, that's
Dude.
another joke that was like
I love
very
it.
well done.
Yeah, because supervillains always do that speech, and he's like, I really don't know what you're saying, and you hear like Mark Strong.
I mean, the
like,
whole
muffled.
theater laughed. The whole theater
That was
laughed
pretty good.
at that for me, so they got it. That is funny though, but nobody laughed at the joke I'm thinking about.
Oh man, this is gonna bug me. Oh, sorry, Harvey. I had to get it out there before I forget.
I think I'm at a 3.5.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the first half I did not care for at all. Once he becomes Shazam, I think that the humor really picks up and the fun really picks up. The relationship between Freddy and I suppose Shazam, because it's not the kid Billy really. So I think
Well, they're
Zachary,
the same person.
Yeah, but I mean Zachary Levy in particular was I think what turned it around for me. And that's that dynamic between them. But yeah, overall, it was miles ahead of the other shit they've done. I've seen like some articles comparing like DC like 2 for 2 now. I'm like, bitch, like fucking
1 for 1, bitch.
Like, Aquaman was fucking terrible. I don't understand how people can kind of lump this with Aquaman. I think they're 2 completely different movies.
Ocean Master.
Ocean
Dude, when he
Master
said
is
that
funny,
Ocean
though.
Master line, like I was thinking, like, is he serious? I will become the Ocean Master.
Brutal.
Fuck, man, we need to rewatch that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, so I mean, I guess the very high Rotten Tomatoes score in this movie is probably warranted. It's not a representation of how good the movie is. It just shows that the movie is good.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
more positive than negative.
Yeah. But like, it's not I wouldn't grade it at 95%. That's why Rotten Tomatoes is a terrible way to.
Did you rate it?
Yeah, I gave it like a 3, heavy 3, possibly leaning towards a light 3.5.